All right, so this is the on switch. It's you rotate the knob for the intensity of the beam on the CRT, and then you pull this out to turn it on. All right, so I just fired it up. I know that it just powered on because my LCD display came on. It's showing channel A is selected, and it's showing 0 volts DC, which is exactly what it should be showing. And right now we're not getting any trace, but that's because it doesn't look like any of these buttons are selected. So I'm going to select channel A. All right, so right now we should have a trace. So that's not... Oh, there's something there. You see how when I turn this way up, you can see a glow? So that might be that the trace is just actually off the screen. So I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to come up here to A, and I'm going to rotate the vertical position knob. There's my trace. Well, that's good. Now you see how wide that line is. Here's focus. Oh, nice and sharp. Even after all these years. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. Now you'll notice there's a little space to the right here and there isn't to the left. Come down here to horizontal position. And I'm going to center that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is working. I'm going to select B. Oh, you see how that just went out? So that's B. This is the time base. If I turn this way down, we should be able to get this to actually... Yeah, that's what's going on here. The time base switch is dirty. Come on. There we go. Beep, beep. Doctor, we're losing him. Anyways, that cleaning this switch here looks like it's going to solve a lot of the issues that I was having with this thing. So let's just do that now. Unplug it so I don't reach into the chassis and grab something I didn't expect. So here's the time base switch. Oh yeah, of course. You know, why wouldn't it be? That, unfortunately, looks like it's a sealed unit. There's like virtually nothing on there to indicate a hole to get any sort of cleaner in. I'll just remove this plug for a second here and see what's behind it. Nothing. You know what I was hoping to see was in the old days they used almost like an open wafer style switch like that, and you could actually see the contacts, and actually they do use those up here. I'll show you those. Well, there's one screw on this side and 2 screws on this side, and it actually looks like that'll allow me to slide the whole PC board assembly back so that the switches, the plastic buttons here, aren't coming through the front faceplate, and then that would allow me to slide the whole thing to the side like so. And I'll take this plug off. Actually, plug on this side. Well, actually, if I come out this side, I don't even have to take that plug off. Voila! Well, don't I feel silly? And actually, this is the only one I didn't get by not taking it out. This one. And this one I wasn't getting very well. All right. Cool. And a nice solder work on the back here. There was a pride of workmanship when this was put together. Well, it came with the 100% made right guarantee, so I guess they had to make sure. Anyways, all right. So I think before I put these back in, while I've got them out, I'm just going to clean those buttons a little bit better, because they're a little hard to clean because they're partially recessed behind this. So by cleaning them right now, I don't know if I want to get that finicky with this thing, quite frankly, because I'm not going to be able to get the sides of all the buttons unless I get really, finicky and do the old Q-tip between the buttons, or pull every single button off, which I can see that these buttons were glued on. So if I pull them off, because of the brittle plastic, they're probably glued on with something similar to like a hot glue. And the reason why they glue these on is because these kind of buttons have a habit that when you push this, like when you push and you eject this button, sometimes that force of that ejection will make the button pop out, and it's annoying. So they actually made sure that they put a little bit of adhesive on the shaft before they put the buttons on to keep that from happening. But they also typically wouldn't use an adhesive so strong that you couldn't break it free if you needed to, because they realized that if you wanted to replace the switch, you might not have to replace the button just because the switch is yeah, actually I can cheat a little bit and push each button above the other one in and clean just that little bit of a top edge there. Not entirely. Good enough? Sure, why not? Can't see it from my house. Well, actually you can. Alright, so for the same reason that I am cleaning those buttons while they're out, that's why I am going to clean this area right here while that's out, because it's going to be, I'll be able to get right in, right up to the edges there where the buttons were in the way before. Just in case there was any doubt whether or not that's doing anything, you can actually see the line of demarcation between Filthville and cleaner than it was. Watch what you're doing, Steve. You're going to knock your screws all over the place and lose them. I think I already got the LCD, yeah. Alright. I'm going to get this board back in. And get it up on its side so gravity helps me with these screws, because they got washers on them. And the screwdriver I happen to grab isn't magnetic. Doesn't have a magnetic tip, so it's not going to do me any favors as far as putting these screws in. The mighty Wiesman eating up my dollars. At least heating oil is relatively cheap this season. Those of you who buy heating oil around the country, you might be interested to know that here in New England, we're paying right now an average of around $1.70, $1.60. Actually, I've got a place that's really a good deal. They're at $1.64 a gallon right now. Now, I bought oil in November, and paid $1.89 from the same place. And last year, oh, was it last winter or the winter before? Jeez. I don't even remember what it was, but it was crazy. And this house is a newer house, relatively speaking. So, and because I built this house, I, kind of overbuilt. So, insulation is very high in this house. High, what do I mean? This house is very well insulated, is what I meant to say. Geez, Steve. Use English language much? Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about oscilloscopes. The mighty Wiesmann is a very high efficiency boiler from Germany. Das Boiler ist gut. Alright, we got all of these. So we want to hit these and these. Well, these are easy. These are wide open on the top here. I don't need to take the board out. I can do these just like I did the other ones. A little squirt there. Ah, you son of a gun. Yeah, that happens. Anybody who's wondering what I'm using for a chemical to clean, this is Tech Spray Envirotech Lubritrol Heavy Duty Lubricant. No CFCs, no 1,1,1-trichloroethane, contains HFCs. And this is the environmentally friendly stuff. Even this might not be available anymore. This is left over from, this is one of the last cleaners I had from my repair shop that I closed. So this stuff is already old. But prior to this stuff, we had much nicer stuff for cleaning controls. This is the foaming style of control cleaner, which I like. We used to have a product, I believe it was called Deoxit, Deoxit. So it was an anti-oxidizing control cleaner, and it was kind of, I think, pinkish when it foamed. I think it was a foamer. I don't remember. And then there was another stuff called Blue Shower. And then, like, if you just wanted to clean dust and everything off and leave zero residue, we had stuff in a big can from, I think, Chemtronics called Tuna Wash. And they also marketed that under Electro Wash, and they were almost identical. The Tuna Wash was geared towards cleaning manual tuners and television sets, which are, from that's history, pal. It goes way back. Way back! So, anyways, the only reason I mention it is because I went to buy some contact cleaner at the auto parts store, which is the only place around here where I could even find anything. And all they had was this, I think it's a CDC brand or something like that, contact cleaner, which I had bought previously. And, see if I still have a can of that. Oh, alright, I must have finished it and thrown it out. Thrown the empty can out. But that stuff is, it's in a red and white can, and it's marketed, it's what Napa carries. And basically, it's a contact cleaner. It's made for cleaning, like, plugs that, go together to clean the contacts down in there. So you spray the stuff down in there. And I think it's one of these, either zero residue or doesn't leave anywhere near any residue on it. And it's not really geared for cleaning switches and potentiometers, because basically in the automotive industry, I guess, repair circles, they pretty much figure if the switch is bad, you replace the switch, and that most of the work you're going to be doing with it is actually just, cleaning those contacts and connectors. So for this kind of work, you want more of a control cleaner. Lubritrol. It's got practically the word control right in it. Alright, So what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was going to clean these. Did I clean these? No, I didn't. That's right. The thing flipped off on me. And then I started yakking about the good old days. So deoxit might still be available somewhere online. Formula's probably not the same as it used to be. The first thing they took out of all of these cleaners was the CFCs. Chlorofluorocarbon, I think is what that stands for. But the reason why they took those out, and actually the job that those did, the CFCs were actually in there as a propellant. And I think basically the original propellant that they used in these cans was very similar to refrigerant that they use in refrigerators back in the day, not now. And so you had those chlorofluorohydrocarbons in there, or chlorofluorocarbons. Let's see, HCFC, hydrochlorofluorocarbons. How about that? Say that 5 times fast. Anyways, that was the propellant. That's what actually pressurized the can and made the stuff come out. It wasn't the cleaner. And it evaporated and went away when it came out. Well, the problem is that it evaporates and goes away and floats up into the atmosphere and destroys the ozone layer. So, anywho, had to get rid of that stuff. And then, apparently, trichloroethane became a nasty thing that they wanted to get rid of because the other thing that they're saying here. See, the whole Envirotech series was supposed to be environmentally friendly, so they're advertising no CFCs. Oh, okay. No one more. I'm sorry, I got this wrong. No CFCs, no chlorofluorocarbons, no trichloroethane. Contains hydrochlorofluorocarbons. See? So, you chemistry majors can tell me what the hell that is. Hydro is water, right? So, it's like hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Would that be like a chlorofluorocarbon that has a water molecule attached to it or something? That's somebody who knows nothing about chemistry. I mean, I took basic chemistry. I took general chemistry in college. But, I don't remember a lot. Like, I remember they used to use moles. Now, the only mole I can think of is he lives in the ground. He's outside. A little gray creature. Mole man. All right. Oh, yeah. See what happens when I get yakking? I forget. These two right here. I want to hit that. I want to hit those two puppies. But I'm looking at the bottom of the PC board that they solder up into. So these two, they put in upside down. And they did that because these are so close to the bottom that if they tried to put them in the other way, it would interfere with the chassis. But that's okay. Because this, nice and easy. We only have 2 screws holding this whole board in. But did they leave enough clearance to get this thing over? Oh, that's tight. All right, so I'm going to unplug this plug. Wunderbar. Got it. All right. All right, and give them little buttons a little cleaning while I got them out. Put these switches back in. Carefully. Come on now. It's funny, I bought my kid a one of those electronic projects kits. I had one when I was a kid. Came from Radio Shack. It was just a wooden frame box, a shallow wooden box, and it had all like components like resistors mounted and capacitors and everything, all mounted in different locations. There was a tuning capacitor because one of the projects you could build with the kit was a radio. And it had these little springs, and it came with a whole bunch of short little wires that were stripped at each end. And what you did was you pushed the spring over and stuck the wire in and released the spring, and it would hold the wire, and that was how you interconnected everything. So I bought my kid one of these new ones that they have, and it's pretty cool. It's all of the components are on their own separate little snap together or snap in plastic bases, okay? And then you just basically have like a big open breadboard that you snap these things onto, and it comes with these little snap together blue plastic things that actually act as the wires, and they're all different sizes. So it's very modular. So everything ends up being straight vertical or straight horizontal. And then there's like blocks that have like ICs inside of them that do different jobs. Like there's a music IC or this IC or that IC. You snap that block down, and then you make the connections to that. You snap the battery pack down. It's really kind of cool. And I bought him the really deluxe one for Christmas a couple of years ago. And in it, it's actually, the projects start out very basic. Like you start out with the most basic circuit: a battery, a switch, a light, and then a wire to return this, to come back. So the whole idea of completing a circuit. Close the switch, the circuit's complete, and the electricity flows, lights the light. Then you could switch out the switch and put a motor in. Then you could put a resistor in series with that and see how that affects it, and all different kinds of things. But as you get more advanced, there's actually a whole section in there. There's an interface. And you can actually interface this damn thing with your PC, and it comes with the software. It turns your desktop PC or laptop, whatever you're using, into an oscilloscope. And you can actually start to do waveform analyzing and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd mention it because it's kind of cool how far they've come as far as oscilloscope technology. Now, I know that there are other PC-based oscilloscope things out there. I know there are things you can buy that you hook up to your PC and turn your PC into a scope, and I don't know how accurate they are. I'm sure, like anything else, they've gotten to the point now where they're pretty darn accurate. And the other thing that you could do, I think, with a lot of those type of systems that you can't do with an old analog scope like this is waveform storage. So if you want to compare waveforms to other waveforms down the road, which is more important if you're doing R&D work or maybe even quality control, quality assurance. They don't do that anymore in this country, though, do they? Oh, no. Never mind. I'm going to get myself in trouble. What's the matter with you? Don't you love this country? Don't you love your country? You don't love it, you can go on back where you came from. I was born here. My parents were immigrants. Matter of fact, Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, that was written for my mom. All right, so let's fire this thing back up, see how we did. All right, well, we didn't completely ruin it because it still turns on. Oh, look at it. Alright, why isn't anything happening? See that? Look at that. We cleaned the time base and oh, wait a minute. I got all these buttons out. There, right? Yeah. Good job, Steve. That we killed the time base completely. The time base generator is... Oh, you know what? This is on external. We're going to put it on A. The trigger source is A. Auto mode. That's not good. Oh. Hey, where'd it go? Vertical. Alright, there it is. Turn that intensity down. Beam finder. Duh. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Yeah, no, we want voltage peak to peak, or we want one of these selected. That's good. This is on auto. This is on... Oh, this is on vector. Dummy. A. Horizontal. Vector, by the way, is when you're going to supply an X and a Y and actually make that little dot move. Hey, you know, you guys who are machinists, X and Y axis, right? So basically you put this right in the center, and then you set your voltage per division. If you sent both to 5 volts, if you send 5 volts into one channel positive, it'll go this way, 1 division. Up 1 division if you send it into the positive into the other channel. Negative will make it go down 1 division, or the other channel back. So that's what the vector thing does. See that? That's not good. That should stop. Something's unstable in there. Yeah, we might just have a component that has gone squirrely on us due to years of neglect. It's just kind of bugging me that the tops of these buttons were filthy. So tell me, is it warmer in the summer than it is in the country, or vice versa? Well, who cares? So, are you happy or married? All right. Let's do that heartbeat thing again. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got both traces going here. That's A and B, or just A, B, A and B. All right. Okay, so this scope has right down here a little connection labeled probe compensation, and what that actually, what's actually at that point is there's a signal at that point. So you can just clip your probe onto here, and it'll give you a waveform that you can use. And it's designed to set the compensation. There's a little tiny set screw on the probes, but I just like using it as a ready-made waveform. Let me go see if I can find one of those probes.